The Chargers have a huge game ahead. This Week 16 matchup against the Broncos could make or break their season. With the playoffs just within reach, it's all about figuring out how to beat a red-hot Denver team. The stakes are high, and there's no room for mistakes. So, what exactly do the Chargers need to do to win? Let's break it down. What's up, buddies? Welcome back. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We cover all AFC West news here on this channel. The Chargers are coming off a tough loss to the Buccaneers, and now they're up against one of the hottest teams in the league. Denver has been on a roll lately, and their defense has been especially tough to crack. On the flip side, the Chargers have shown flashes of brilliance this season, but consistency has been a big issue. This game isn't just about strategy, it's about execution. What makes this matchup so important? It's simple. Both teams are fighting for a playoff spot. For the Chargers, a win would keep their postseason hopes alive and could even bump them up in the standings. But to get there, they'll have to play a complete game, something they've struggled to do all year. This is their chance to prove they belong in the playoff conversation. What's really interesting is how these teams match up. Denver's defense leads the league in sacks, so the Chargers' offensive line will have to step up to protect Herbert. At the same time, Denver's offense has been relying on big plays, which means the Chargers' secondary will need to stay sharp. The game could come down to which team makes the fewest mistakes. A turnover or a missed opportunity might be all it takes to tip the scales. If the Chargers want to beat Denver, they're going to have to get creative on offense. One of the biggest opportunities lies in using Quentin Johnston in new and unexpected ways. He's a playmaker, plain and simple, and the Chargers need to put the ball in his hands. Imagine Johnston lining up in the backfield for a few snaps, or being used in quick screens to catch Denver's defense off guard. These kinds of plays could add a spark to an offense that's been inconsistent. Another key is the running game. It's no secret that the Chargers have struggled to establish a run this season, and that puts extra pressure on Justin Herbert. Against a Broncos defense that's among the league's best at rushing the passer, finding some balance will be critical. Even a modest improvement in the ground game could help open up opportunities in the passing game. The Broncos have allowed over 100 rushing yards in each of their losses this season, so it's a clear area the Chargers need to target. Speaking of Herbert, his quick decision-making will be crucial. Denver loves to blitz, and they're good at it. To counter that, the Chargers need to focus on quick passes, screens, and short routes that let their receivers make plays after the catch. Long developing plays could spell disaster against a defense that knows how to get to the quarterback. Protecting Herbert and giving him easy options will go a long way in keeping the offense moving. One additional factor to consider is third down efficiency. The Chargers struggled mightily on third downs against the Buccaneers, and that's something they can't afford to repeat. The longer the offense can stay on the field, the more chances they'll have to wear down Denver's defense. On the defensive side, the Chargers need to contain Bo Nix. The rookie quarterback has shown flashes of brilliance this season, but he's also been prone to mistakes. The key here is to pressure him consistently without letting him escape the pocket. Nix is a dual-threat quarterback who can hurt you with his legs, so maintaining discipline in the pass rush will be critical. The Chargers' pass rush has to show up in a big way. Players like Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa need to step up and disrupt Denver's offense. Denver's offensive line has been solid, but if the Chargers can get consistent pressure, it will force Nix into bad decisions. Turnovers could be the deciding factor in this game, and creating those opportunities starts with the defensive front. Another major focus has to be limiting big plays. Denver's offense has a knack for hitting on explosive passes, and the Chargers' secondary will need to stay disciplined. Communication will be key, especially with some starters potentially out due to injuries. The defense can't afford lapses in coverage that give Denver easy scores. Every yard will matter in this game, and the Chargers need to make the Broncos earn every bit of it. One last point. Tackling. The Chargers have had issues with missed tackles in key moments this season. Against a team like Denver, which thrives on yards after the catch, sound tackling will be critical. Making sure the first defender brings the ball carrier down will prevent small plays from turning into big ones. This level of discipline could be the difference between a close win and a heartbreaking loss. Special teams often get overlooked, but they could play a huge role in this game. For Denver, Marvin Mims has been a game-changer in the return game, leading the league in punt return yards this season. The Chargers can't afford to give him any room to break off a big return. Tight coverage on punts and kickoffs will be crucial, and the Chargers' special teams unit needs to be ready to bottle him up. On the other hand, the Chargers need their own special teams to step up. Darius Davis has shown flashes of brilliance as a returner, and this could be the perfect game for him to make a big play. A well-timed return could swing momentum and set the Chargers up with great field position. It's these kinds of hidden plays that can make all the difference in a tight matchup. The kicking game will also be under the spotlight. Cameron Dicker has been reliable all season, but every point will matter in a game like this. Denver's kicker, Will Lutz, is no slouch either, so the Chargers can't leave points on the field. Whether it's nailing field goals or pinning Denver deep with punts, clean execution on special teams could be the edge the Chargers need to win. Injuries are always a big factor this late in the season, and both teams are dealing with their fair share. For the Chargers, cornerback Cam Hart and tight end Will Dissly have already been ruled out. These are notable absences, especially considering Denver's ability to stretch the field. Safety Elijah Molden is doubtful, which could further strain the secondary. Linebacker Denzel Perryman and guard Zion Johnson are listed as questionable, and their availability could have a huge impact on both sides of the ball. On a brighter note, quarterback Justin Herbert has no game designation, meaning he's good to go. This is a relief for the Chargers, as Herbert's ability to manage the offense will be critical against Denver's aggressive defense. His health, however, will still be a concern given the hits he's taken in recent weeks. The Chargers' offensive line will need to step up to keep him protected. For the Broncos, cornerback Riley Moss and running back Jaleel McLaughlin are out, which could make a difference. Denver's defense is still formidable, but the absence of Moss might open up opportunities for the Chargers' receivers. Pat Surtain, Denver's star cornerback, is fully healthy, so the Chargers will still have to contend with one of the league's best. Managing these injuries and making adjustments will be a key part of the Chargers' game plan. Depth players will need to step up, and the coaching staff must find ways to minimize the impact of missing starters. In a game with such high stakes, even the smallest edge could make the difference. This game isn't just about beating the Broncos, it's about setting the stage for the final stretch. A win here would not only keep the Chargers' playoff hopes alive, but also build crucial momentum heading into their last two games against the Raiders and Patriots. Depending on other results around the league, the Chargers could move up in the standings and take a significant step towards securing a wildcard spot. However, a loss could put them in a must-win situation for both remaining games, making this one of the most pivotal matchups of their season. The Broncos, on the other hand, are also fighting to keep their postseason dreams alive. Denver's recent hot streak has put them ahead of the Chargers, but a loss here could derail their momentum. The stakes are high for both teams, and that's what makes this matchup so intriguing. For the Chargers, the key will be to focus on their strengths while minimizing mistakes. Every decision from play calling to clock management will be under the microscope. This game will test their resilience, discipline, and ability to perform under pressure. With so much on the line, the Chargers need to treat this game like a playoff matchup because, for all intents and purposes, it is. The Chargers' path to victory is clear but not easy. On offense, they need creativity, balance, and quick decision-making to counter Denver's aggressive defense. Defensively, it's all about pressuring Bo Nix, limiting big plays, and executing sound tackling. Special teams need to deliver clean execution, and players like Darius Davis have to take advantage of their opportunities. Finally, managing injuries and getting the most out of depth players will be critical. This is the Chargers' chance to prove they belong in the playoff conversation. It's not just about talent. It's about showing resilience and finding a way to win when it matters most. Can they rise to the occasion and keep their postseason dreams alive? That's the question everyone is waiting to see answered. Okay, now it's your turn. What is your prediction? Who will win this game? Do you think the Chargers can exploit Denver's aggressive defense with creative plays like using Quentin Johnston in the backfield? With the Broncos on a hot streak, what's the one thing the Chargers must do to pull off a win? If you're excited about this high-stakes matchup, let us know your predictions in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more AFC West updates and analysis.